Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatley Tones Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you're all doing well. I've been buying a fair bit of vinyl over the last week or so, so I thought I'd show you what I got. Some of these albums are brand new, and some of them are really old. I spent a day down at Ben's record store in Guildford, which is quite a long way from where I live. Did that last week, and I went there last year, and I did do a video showing what I bought from there. It's one of those you know, sort of record stores where they sort of pile them high and sell them cheap, and you know, they've got a lot of records at good prices, but obviously you take your chance on, you know, how good they are when you get them home. So I'll be showing you those as well and telling you how much I paid for them. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the new stuff. So the first album I got, I think, which arrived last week, was this album, 99 by Paul Weller. No, it's not really 99. 66. It's called 66 because that is his age, or that was his age, I think, either the day before or the day after this was released. This is Paul Weller's 17th solo album, and you know, his solo career has been patchy in places, brilliant in others, but I've been following Paul Weller since he was in the Jam back in 1977, and I've followed him through the Style Council and through his solo career. He's very much like Paul McCartney in that way that he's kind of had three careers, you know, two bands and a solo career. So Paul Weller is an artist that I really like a lot, and this is his new album. It's called, as I said, 66. The cover art has been done by Sir Peter Blake. It's no Sergeant Pepper, is it? But this is the second cover art that Peter Blake has done for Paul Weller. He also did the Stanley Road cover back in 1995, I think it was. So that is the track listing, and it is a gatefold sleeve with that nice picture of Paul Weller in the middle, and this isn't well, let me show you. You get a few bits and pieces with it. So you get this massive poster, which is basically that picture that I just showed you on the inside of the gatefold. But it is huge. It is huge. There you go. So that comes with the album, and you also get this booklet. If you can call it a booklet, it's more of a pamphlet, really. This has got all the words and all the credits and a few pictures. Not sure if he's covering a bald patch there, but you know, some nice pictures in the booklet, and all the words to all the songs. It is very nice, and this is it's an interesting album because for a change, Paul Weller has used a few different people to work with on the writing, of people that have done the lyrics for some of these songs. There's a couple of songs where the lyrics are written by Suggs from Madness. I think it's Ship of Fools and Nothing, and Jumble Queen on there is co-written with Noel Gallagher, although he doesn't play on the album. And yeah, so this is an interesting album. It's not his best. It's, you know, it's quite away from his best. I think his best solo albums were the ones right at the start of his career. Paul Weller, Wildwood, Stanley Road, probably his best. But these are better than his sort of mid-period. He went through, you know, a mid-period downward trend where I didn't really like what he was putting out. Albums like Sonic Kicks and Saturn's Pattern and stuff like that. And things have improved with, his last three albums on Sunset, Fat Pop, and now this one. And the first track, Ship of Fools, is an interesting one because it's really, really chilled. This is one of the ones written by, with Suggs, and it's a really mellow song, and that is an unusual way for Paul Weller to start an album. And he normally starts with something more upbeat. But it is a really nice track, and there are a few tracks like that on this album. There's not that much rock on this album, which is also unusual. I'll show you the vinyl. Comes in a polyline sleeve, and it is on red vinyl on the Polydor label. So that is very nice. So that is Paul Weller 66. But the story doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there, because in a few weeks, Paul Weller is doing a Q&A at Rough Trade Records in London, and me and Mrs. Beatley Tone, we got tickets for it, so we're going to that in a few weeks. But didn't realise it at the time of buying the tickets, because obviously when the 66 album was announced, pre-ordered it, and it came on release day. But as part of the deal of going to this Q&A, Paul Weller sends you a free copy of 66. So I've now got two of them. So we didn't know we were going to get that. So that has been sent like ahead of the Q&A. I say the Q&A is in a couple of weeks or whatever. And I won't show you the I'm not going to show you all the same stuff again. But the one that he has sent is on blue vinyl. So I've got a red one and a blue one of 66, but it doesn't even end there, because me and Mrs. Beatley Tone are going to the Q&A. That means we had to buy two tickets. That means that we got two free blue albums. So we've now got 3 copies of 66, 2 blue and a red. So I'm not quite sure what we would do with the spare blue one, but I think we'll probably move it on. Okay, so that is Paul Weller 66. Good album, check it out. Okay, the next album that I bought, another new one. This is Gravity Stairs by Crowded House. This is their new album, and again, really, really chilled album. We listened to this album on a Sunday evening, and this album is the epitome of a Sunday evening album, I think. That is the back and the track listing there. And Crowded House have gone through many lineup changes. There's now 2 of Neil Finn's sons are in the band, the drummer and the guitarist, and they're still making really great music. That is the gatefold to the album. And again, this is a really nice chilled album. Again, it's not it's not their best. It's not as good as something like Woodface or Together Alone, but it's got some really good songs on it. But the thing about this album is it's got a really lovely feel. It's got lovely bass on it. As usual with Crowded House, you get the the sort of the Beatlesque harmonies, lovely harmonies and that sort of stuff. I really like Crowded House. I did actually see, I've seen Crowded House a few times, but one time that I saw them supporting Paul McCartney at Hyde Park along with Elvis Costello. Both of those were on the bill. What a fantastic gig that was. Now, I bought this from the Crowded House website, and if you do buy it from the Crowded House website, you also get included a signed print signed by all the band, and that is the inner sleeve. That's the track listing again, and the words are on the back. And I'll show you the vinyl, and the vinyl looks like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? I'm not sure what you would call that, a sort of baby blue with clouds maybe, or something. I'm not sure, but really nice, really very nice looking record, a very nice sounding record. Again, you know, as I say, it's not their best, but I would still recommend it. It's got some really nice songs on it. So if you fancy checking out Gravity Stairs by Crowded House, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Okay, the next album that I want to talk about is this one. This is Fires by Nerina Pallot, and if you know, I would totally forgive you if you say, well, I've never heard of Nerina Pallot, and that, you know, that sort of statement wouldn't surprise me. I like to think of Nerina as being pop's best kept secret. That doesn't mean that she hasn't, you know, had success. She has. She's written songs for Kylie Minogue and Diana Vickers. She was nominated for a Brit Award in 2007 for Best Female Singer-Songwriter. She didn't win, unfortunately. But this album, Fires, was my introduction to the music of Nerina Pallot. This is a reissue. It's been remastered because it's 20 years old. And I first came across Nerina Pallot, me and Mrs. Beatley Tone. We went to see Sheryl Crow at Hammersmith Odeon, and Nerina Pallot was the support artist, and she wasn't with her band. She was just on the stage on her own, doing her songs, playing piano, playing guitar. She's got the most fantastic voice, and when she, you know, we were blown away with her set, and you know, when she'd finished her set, obviously the interval before Sheryl Crow came in, we went out into the foyer. We bought the Fires album and the album that preceded it, her debut album, Dear Frustrated Superstar. Bought both of those, and I've bought everything that she's ever done since. There was 1 year where she decided that she was going to put out an EP every month. Every month for a whole year. She put out a 4 or 5 EP, 4 or 5 track EP, and you know, she didn't waste a second. She really is a fantastic artist. What I really like about Nerina Pallot is, you know, when I first saw her, you know, she was sort of touching 30 back then. She's 50 now, and but she writes songs for adults, songs with adult themes, and I really like that about her, because you can, you know, you identify with, you know, the subject matter of the songs because you've been through it all yourself. And so you know, I would say that along with Kate Bush, Nerina Pallot is my favourite female singer-songwriter, and a brilliant musician and a brilliant singer as well. This is the track listing of the Fires album. That first track, Everyone's Gone to War, was a hit. It got to number 14 in the UK charts. Nerina is from the island of Jersey, and I've seen her probably live about 10 or 12 times, you know, from that first time. All the other times that I've seen her, I think she's been with her band, with a band, but you know, she does do solo shows as well, and she does like really nice small venues, which I really like. She comes out and chats with the audience afterwards and that sort of thing. Really lovely person, and you know, I would thoroughly recommend this album, Fires. It's probably her best album, although I would say her latest album, which is called I Don't Know What I'm Doing, is probably its equal. She writes lyrics with humour, and you know, I just love her. I just love her. So I would like to promote Nerina Pallot. Please, you know, please go and check out this album, Fires. I think you will like it, not because you know, it's particularly Beatlesque, because it's not. I'll be honest with you, it's not Beatlesque, but the fact that you are Beatles fans means that you have got great taste, and if you've got great taste, you're going to love Nerina Pallot. So please check out Fires by Nerina Pallot. I'll just quickly show you the gatefold of the album. Looks like that. And this album, for its 20th anniversary, reissue, it also came out with a CD box set, which had extra material, B-sides, alternate mixes and stuff like that, and alternate takes, and unreleased material, which I picked that up as well. But this is the vinyl. So that is Fires by Nerina Pallot. Please check it out, and if you do, tell me down in the comments what you think of it. I'd love to hear what you think of Nerina Pallot. Move on to the old stuff. As I said last week, went down to Ben's record store in Guildford, which is about 2 hours drive from where I live, but the last time I went there I came out with a huge pile of albums, and so I thought it would be worth going down there again and see what they had in. They didn't have as much in this time that I wanted, but I did manage to pick up a few albums, and I also sold a few albums that I had doubles of. So the first time ever I came out of a record store with them giving me some money and a pile of records. So that was a first for me. Okay, so the first album that I bought was this one, Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon and Garfunkel. I do have this on CD, but I've never had it on vinyl. This one, you see the price there, it was £4. It's so annoying when they put stickers on the sleeve, but I don't need to tell you too much about this album. You all know this album. Obviously it's absolutely chock-a-block with fantastic songs: Bridge Over Troubled Waters, El Conde Pasa, Cecilia, Keep the Customers Satisfied, The Boxer, Only Living Boy in New York. Fantastic song for the asking on here. That was the inner sleeve that it came in, so it's I don't think it's not a first pressing for sure, but this is the album it is an album from 1970. It is a UK pressing. I have cleaned it up, but it has got a lot of surface noise on it, which was disappointing, and I kind of should have known, really, because Simon and Garfunkel's songs are not full of instrumentation that kind of hides that sort of surface noise and stuff. A lot of the songs are are very quiet, and so you kind of hear the crackle. So I'm glad to have this album in my collection, but I probably won't play it that often. I'll probably opt for playing the CD if I want to hear it. So that is Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, so next up, A Single Man by Elton John. This is an album that I have never owned either on CD or on record. I just completely ignored it, and I'm not really sure why, because it's unusual for me, because most of Elton John's 70s albums I do have, but for some reason I just let this one pass me by. This album comes from 1978. The songs are co-written by Elton John with Gary Osborne, and what also makes it unusual that I totally ignored it is that I did actually buy the single Part-Time Love when it came out, which was unusual in itself, because I didn't used to really buy Elton John's singles. I used to buy his albums, but I didn't really buy his singles, so I bought the single but completely ignored the album. And what an album it is! I say I'd never heard it until I got this home, and it is a fantastic album. There is the track listing. Really, really pleased with this album. Hit singles on this: Part-Time Love and Song for Guy, but it's got some fantastic songs on it. I won't go through them all, but particularly Shine On Through and It Ain't Gonna Be Easy. Fantastic songs on this album. That is the gatefold there. The sleeve is in really good condition. The price of this, it was £8, but then it was reduced to £5. Again, they've stuck the sticker on the sleeve, which is really annoying. That is the inner sleeve. You get the words and the credits on that. Fun Beatles fact, in fact, that the drummer on this album, on every track, is Steve Holley from Wings. So fun fact there. There is the vinyl. I've cleaned it up. There's a little bit of surface noise in some of the, the quieter places, but mostly it's cleaned up really nicely and plays very well. And I just love this album, and I feel slightly ashamed that I ignored it for so long, but I'm really pleased to have it now. So that is Single Man by Elton John. Okay, so moving on. Deep Purple in Rock. Now, in Ben's record store, they had about 3 copies of this, and this was the last one that I found. There was 2 others, and I looked at the vinyl, and they were really scratched, loads of marks all over the records, scratched to within an inch of their lives. And then I found this one, which was cheaper than the other 2. This one was 15 quid, which I thought was okay. And let's take off the plastic, as that girl who does all her videos in fancy dress says. Yeah, so that is Deep Purple in Rock, and that is the back of the sleeve there. There's a little bit of ring wear there, and as you can see here, this is a Greek pressing. And when I looked at this one looked in much better nick than the other 2, which were UK pressings. That's the label there. And I've cleaned it up, and it plays lovely. It's really good. So, having seen the other 2 that were in the shop, I didn't really hold out much hope for this, but I took a punt on it anyway, because I thought 15 quid was a good price. I think they wanted 25 and 35 for the other 2 copies that were in there. So I'm really pleased to have got this at such a good price, and it sounds great. And I've never owned this album on vinyl. I do have the CD. I've got an expanded CD of this, but never had it on vinyl. Everyone at school used to have this album, but I never did. So very pleased to have that. It's got some. It's the classic Deep Purple lineup. With Richie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lord and Ian Pace. It's got Speed King on it. It's got Child in Time on it. It's got Hard Loving Man on it. It's a good album. So very pleased to get that. That's Deep Purple in Rock. Next up, another one from Elton John, Honky Chateau. This one was 10 quid, £10 for this one. Really good price again. This is not the more recent remaster. It's not a first pressing either, but it's it's an original, not an original, but a 70s pressing. The sleeve is in really good nick. As you can see, there is the track listing. It's got Honky Cat on it and Rocket Man, and so it's a really great album. I do have this on a CD. That is the gatefold with the lyrics, and show you the vinyl. Just comes in a white inner on the DGM label. And I'm very pleased to have this one as well. 10 quid is an absolute bargain for this. It's a great album, and it sounds perfect. I mean, just look at the the spindle, where there's no spindle wear at all. It looks as if it's hardly been played. And it sounds like it's hardly been played as well. So that was Honky Chateau, Elton John. Okay, the next one, I nearly didn't buy this, but it was only £4. This is Graham Parker and the Rumour, the Up Escalator, although they've written on here Up the Escalator as if they're a football club. But this was Graham Parker's album from 1980 when he went back to Stiff Records, and it sort of followed on the heels of Squeezing Out Sparks, which it's probably his best album. And I can remember when this came out, it was quite disappointing compared with Squeezing Out Sparks, but it's not a bad album. I've not ever had this on vinyl, but I do remember hearing it when it first came out and being disappointed with it and not bothering to get it. But I've got it now for £4. I couldn't kind of leave it behind. You know, it's in really good nick as well. It looks almost new, really, to be honest. That is the inner sleeve. It doesn't have any hit singles on it. Graham Parker didn't have that many hit singles anyway. But, you know, it's absolutely perfect. Plays lovely as well. So pleased to get that for £4. As I say, I just couldn't leave that one behind. I've got a lot of Graham Parker albums on CD, but not that many on vinyl. So glad to pick that one up. Okay, we are nearly there. This is the next album, Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy by The Who. Did I need this record? Not really. This is a compilation album of The Who's early hits. I think 1965 to 1969. I think Pinball Wizard from the Tommy album is the latest song on this album. And when I was at school, loads of my classmates had this record, and but I never did. And I borrowed this record off of one of them and put it onto a cassette, and I used to play it to death, and I absolutely loved it. And it was my introduction to The Who. So I didn't really, you know, I've got all the tracks that are on here. I've got on, you know, other albums, so I didn't really need it. But look, it was £10. It was £10, and I just thought for £10, for old time's sake, I'm gonna get it. So let's have a look at it, and it is in superb condition. I mean, just look at the sleeve; it's really pretty much immaculate. This album came out, you know, in the 70s. It is a gatefold. That is the gatefold there. That is the track listing, and it is a great track listing as well. I'll show you the vinyl. It does come in a polyline sleeve, but has seen better days, so we'll have to replace that. It is on the track record label. Annoying that sticker is there, but the record does have some marks on it, but I have played it, and the marks don't seem to affect the playing of it. The Who's early stuff, I've always thought that it doesn't sound that great. I think the production of the Who's early songs, sort of, you know, up until the Tommy album, where I think things changed, but everything that came before, I always thought that the production brilliantly captured the energy of the Who, but not so much the sound. The sound always sounded a little bit tinny, a little bit top heavy for my liking, but that's just my opinion. And you know, so yeah, this I have to put this down as a sentimental purchase. Didn't really need it, but you know, because of the memories I've got of this album from when I was at school, for £10, I couldn't really say no. And you know, so Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy, when we were immature school kids, oh how funny we thought that title was, Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy. They're talking about breasts, aren't they? Okay, so you'll be glad to know we have arrived at the final album that I picked up on this shopping trip, and it is Spike by Elvis Costello from 1989. And this is an album that I've had quite a long time on a CD, but I've never had it on vinyl. It is a double album, and I think it's new as well, but it was only £20. So I was very pleased to get that. I'll just let you have a look at the hype sticker there that comes with. So it's limited to 2,500 copies, and it is on green vinyl. It comes in one of these sort of resealable covers, which I find quite annoying actually. But it does look really good. As I say, I think it's new. The reason why it was only 20 quid is that there is a little dink sort of just here on the inner spine there, but otherwise I think it's unplayed. Really great album. If you haven't heard this album, please check it out. It is a very fine album indeed. You've got some credits and some lyrics there on the back. It is a gatefold, which has got the rest of the lyrics there. And obviously this album does have Beatles connections. So two of the tracks on this album are co-written by Paul McCartney and Elvis Costello. That is Veronica and Pads, Paws and Claws. Paul also plays bass on the opening track, This Town, which he didn't write, but he doesn't play on Pads, Paws and Claws, despite co-writing it. There is also another Beatles connection on this album, as Jim Keltner plays drums on quite a few of the tracks. But it is a very, very good album, this one. There's hardly a bad track on it. I will show you the vinyl. It does come in a polyline sleeve. And here is the vinyl. It's very, very green indeed, to match the sleeve. I won't bother showing you the other record because it is exactly the same. As I said, it is a limited edition of 2,500, and my number is 2040. So very pleased to get that. So that is it. That's all the records that I picked up. So quite a few people recently have been asking me what other artists apart from the Beatles do I like. So when I do a video like this, it kind of gives you a bit of an idea of the sort of stuff that I'm into, or the records that I'm buying, or that I have in my collection. Do you have any of these records that I've shown in this video? If you do, what do you think of them? Please tell me about it down in the comments, or if you want to leave me a comment about anything that I've shown in this video, please do. You know I do read all your comments, and I will respond to all your comments as well. Little bit of housekeeping. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, because it really does help the channel. The likes help the channel and help my videos get out there. You know, I'm trying to grow the channel, so if you could do that, you'd be doing me a big favor, and it only takes like 1 second to hit that like button. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing. Love to have you on board. And if you've got this far through the video, you would have realized that you haven't seen any adverts mid-roll. That's because I don't have adverts mid-roll in any of my videos, so you're able to watch the whole video without any interruptions at all. Okay, that is it from me. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.